Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We are PhD students
Yes.
in chemistry department in Indus University, and myself Prakash Gupta. He is Mr. Jadhav Krishna, and he is Mr. Vikrant Pandya.
Okay.
Good morning, sir. We have some questions to ask you regarding research.
At your service, tell me.
Okay, sir. What are the factors made you take up this subject?
I think it's mostly interesting. Interesting because and incidental. I have done undergraduation in microbiology way back in 1970. At that time, that was a very new subject. I had a lot of difficulty explaining to my parents what microbiology is and why I want to do that. And then it just so happened that I had done MSc in biochemistry. So this combination of biology and chemistry gave me an understanding that every biological process is a chemical reaction. And that was a kind of very revealing at that time. And I'll tell you that I started thinking that I will talk in Hindi because इतनी केमिस्ट्री है बायोलॉजी में कि जैसे किसी का स्वभाव कोई गुस्सा हो जाता है, कोई मायूस हो जाता है, तो ये सब एक केमिकल रिएक्शन का भाग है. सो दैट आई रियलाइज ड्यूरिंग माय एमएससी. सो उसका प्रभाव एक मेरे स्वभाव पे भी पड़ा है कि कोई मेरे को गुस्सा करे तो मुझे लगता है चलो ठीक है, उसका ब्रेन का केमिकल लोचा है मुझे उससे नहीं, बट उससे काफ़ी एक सोशल स्किल एंड जो हम कहते हैं EQ, इमोशनल क्वोशंट, उसमें ये समझने से काफ़ी उसमें फ़ायदा होता है. और बाद में तो एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली थी कि मैं USA में गया था. मैंने करीब 17-18 साल वहाँ काम किया है एकेडमिक. So from biochemistry to pharma, biotech, then genetics. So ऐसे ही अपना एकेडमिक सफ़र चलता रहा.
सर, मेरा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन था, आजकल के यूथ को हम कैसे रिसर्च की तरफ डाइवर्ट करें, क्योंकि हर कोई जाके एक ग्रेजुएशन के बाद जॉब करना चाहता है, तो रिसर्च इज़ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इन आवर डेली लाइफ. तो हम अपने यूथ को कैसे इंस्पायर करें कि रिसर्च की तरफ?
मैं कहूँगा रिसर्च को ठीक है आप एक तरफ रखो. रिसर्च से पहले साइंस का सोचो. 1997 में जब when India completed 50 years of independence, I was to talk in some gathering what India has done in science and technology. So I said science offers us two important things. One is all these gizmos, that mobile and TV and car and all. That's an outcome of science, and India has done very well by that time. But what science has to offer us, and which we have not made a good use of it, is a rational thinking, objective decision making, which science teaches us. So I wish that if students, even if they don't go to research, but if they adopt a scientific thinking in their whatever professions they are, even if they are doctors, it's fine, even if there is a housewife, but inculcating the scientific thought process is perhaps the important thing for individual, for the society, etc. So the first thing I would like is that students and everybody else should develop a scientific way of thinking. हमारी काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम उससे सॉल्व हो जाएगी. और दूसरा है रिसर्च का. द रिसर्च रिक्वायर्स ए रियली गुड इकोसिस्टम and also a societal value system. So if society has certain values and in that value the importance of research is at certain level. It's not where it should be. So our society values doctor more than scientists, for example. So that has to change. And second thing is the ecosystem has to develop. Suppose I am interested in research, but then पूरा माहौल पूरा support system and environment has to be according to that, which is happening. हो रहा है वो, but इतना जल्दी नहीं हो रहा है जितना होना चाहिए. And India has a great potential in research, but we have not been able to materialize on that potential because of our lack of right ecosystem. So Indian people, when they go abroad, they do very well. But when they are here, the ecosystem is not that good, and that is changing, but I hope that it changes faster.
Yes.
So my next question is, what is the future of pharmaceutical industries in India? Because there is a two side of everything. So
I think to look at the future of pharma, you have to look back the history of pharma in India. When we became independent, we were not making anything.
yes, sir.
Not making anything, even a simple thing like gripe water. Things we were importing. And from there we have come to today, where we are giving a good quality drugs to the rest of the world, including developed worlds like Japan, USA, Europe, etc. So now from net importer we have become global exporter.
Yes, sir.
But in what category of drugs? In the category of drugs where what we call generic. Once they are out of patent, we know how to make it, we know how to make a better one and a cheaper one. So that's why the world buys drugs from us. Now for future strategy, we have to think about having our own new molecules.
Yes, sir.
And I was just talking to a friend of mine, he works with a company, I will not name it, but in March they are launching the first new molecules out of India, completely from concept up to clinical trial 3. It is done, it belongs to India, and they will be launching in March. That is one avenue, that we need to have a new drugs. Second, we need to have a new formulation of the known drug. See, you can formulate it slightly differently so that it has many advantages. A simple, rather than taking the same drug 3 times a day, if you can formulate it so that you just take once and it is effective throughout the day. So this kind of formulation innovation is another thing India can really master. Third thing is that we have a good ancient heritage, Ayurveda. But we have not really tried to understand and use them as a lead molecules. And there is a lot of treasure, but needs to be scientifically evolved, and we have to bring it out on a scientific basis, not as a herbal or a traditional thing, but we have to establish the scientific validity of this. But there are a lot of leads, and there are a lot of diseases which we don't have cure for, but if we scientifically explore that traditional knowledge, we have a good avenue. So future is bright, but we have to now turn to R&D based pharma, new molecule based pharma. That is what I think we should do it.
Yes, sir. I also think that.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
that is it.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
ये
for
बहुत
giving your precision.
बहुत ही आसान सवाल आपने पूछा.